makes you feel. Got my heart jumping. I can tell that it's real. I can tell that you're serious. I can see in your eyes.
Okay, good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's call. My name is Roger Garth. It's my pleasure to be your host for the call tonight. If you've never dialed into one of these calls before, then in the space of the next 15 or 20 minutes, we're just going to be talking about an opportunity for you to make some money and for you to quite literally change your life. And that's going to take the next 15, 20 minutes, as I said. At the end of the call, I'm actually going to introduce someone, and I'm going to interview someone who is doing exactly what we're going to be talking about. And she's going to give you an idea of how things have gone for her, so you can get a flavor of someone who's relatively new to this, trying this, and what their experiences are going to be. Once we've done that, we're then going to go into a short training session. So if anyone wants to stick around, you want to see exactly what we do, then I'm going to introduce you to someone who's actually working the business on a full-time basis, has made this a career, and is making a significant amount of money from it. So let's go into the presentation itself, and let's tell you what it's all about. So we all know that the world has changed beyond belief, really, beyond anyone's imagination in the last few months. And right now we're in this strange kind of situation, because right now we don't know whether the world's going to go back to what it was before or not. And a lot of people don't necessarily want it to. A lot of people who were seriously upset 3 months ago when lockdown first of all started have now found, 3 months down the line, they actually like being at home with their family. They don't necessarily want to go back to work. They've come around to reevaluate their lives and reevaluate what they do before, and found out that they weren't really happy going to work every day. What was a habit in the in the first instance has changed into something they don't necessarily want to go back to. Well, what if you didn't have to go back? What if you had complete control over every aspect of your life? That's what we're going to talk about right now. So this guy actually wrote a book about it. His name is Robert Kiyosaki, and he wrote a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And it talks literally about making money and about how people have money and how it's distributed around the world. He came up with a diagram, and I'm going to show it to you right now. He called it the cash flow quadrant. And according to Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant, 60% of the population of the world actually have a job. They go to work for someone else and they get paid on an hourly basis. They do their 40 hours a week or 60 or whatever it may be. And then they go home. If they don't go to work, they don't get paid. It's all over for them. Another 35% of the population of the world are self-employed. Now, they may own their own business, they may be the boss, but they still have to put the hours in, because if they don't put the hours in, nobody's going to pay them. If they take time off sick, tough. They don't earn any money whilst they're off sick either. Sometimes it's not actually a big benefit to being self-employed. Sometimes it's tougher than it is being actually employed. On the other side of the quadrant, however, they're the business owners. Now, I'm not talking about the guys who own small businesses with 10, 20 or 100 employees. I'm talking about big businesses that have hundreds or thousands of employees. Those guys don't have to worry about going to work. If they take a week off, the business carries on running. If they take a month off, if they take a year off, it still carries on turning over money and they still get paid. And finally, the last part of the quadrant are the investors. Now, these are people who have the money work for them. They don't need to work. All they need to do is just put their money out there to work, and they get to live their life whatever way they want it. And these are the guys that you see in the magazines, in all the glossy magazines that have the super yachts and everything else. And we all make the comment, never done a day's work in their life. Well, they don't have to. The money is doing the work for them. Here's the interesting thing. If you look at the left-hand side of that quadrant, 95% of the people in the world earn just 5% of the money that's in circulation. Whereas on the other side of the quadrant, 5% of the world earn 95% of the money. Now, that seems more than a little bit out of balance. And you can say it's not fair, and it probably isn't fair. But whether it's fair or not, it's a reality. So the question is it possible for you to move from one side of that quadrant to the other? And I believe it is. So I'm going to show you exactly how you can do exactly that in the space of the next 10, 15 minutes. So what I'd like to do is introduce you to the forex market. This is the biggest single marketplace in the world, the foreign exchange. It's a market that's worth $6.6 trillion every single day. That's according to a report by Bloomberg last September. The figures that we had before that were saying $5.3 trillion. We thought that was big, but by September it had grown to $6.6 trillion. And this marketplace is close on recession proof. It doesn't get hit like all the other markets do. Back in March, when coronavirus first hit, the stock market took a phenomenal hit. 30% of the value of shares was wiped off the markets in one day. It was all over the news, billions of pounds written off everywhere. But the forex market, that carried on going. Some countries had a hit. Some countries, their currency went down. But forex, when forex is traded in pairs. So if one currency went down, another currency went up. And I'm going to show you what I mean. What you need to understand about this market is this market's open 24 hours a day, 5 days a week around the world. You can participate in this market no matter where you are. We've got people on this call who are dialing in from here in the UK. They're dialing in from Europe. They're dialing in from Australia. They're dialing in from North America, all in different time zones, all around the world, and yet everyone can participate at a time that suits themselves. So let's give you an idea of how it works. So I said to you that currencies are always traded in pairs. It goes something like this. Imagine a trade with the Great British Pound against the US dollar. If the pound is going down in price, because the pairs are traded together, if the pound goes down, then the dollar must be going up. And similarly, if the pound goes up in price, then the dollar must be coming down. And that's why it didn't get hit when the stock market burst, because all that happened in the forex market is the money changed hands. So for you to make money out of it, all you need to know is the money going to change hands, and which direction is it going to go in? And that's where we come in. So we partner with a company called IM Academy, and IM Academy is the biggest single academy in the world that teaches people how to capitalize on these markets. They teach people how to trade, how to understand the markets, and teach people exactly where that money is going to move to and when it's going to move. We've actually got 168 traders. If we look at our Forex Academy, the Forex Academy works, again, like the others, round the clock. We also have our high frequency Forex Academy, and we also have a digital currency academy as well. That's for people who are interested in learning about cryptocurrencies, whether that be Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. So the way it works is, as I said, we've got 168 different full-time educators. We have a platform that we call Go Live. That's like our own internet TV station. You log into Go Live, and you get to choose whichever trader you want to watch, and you watch them trade live. Once they're trading live, they're going to teach you what the market's about. They'll teach you how the currencies are moving, and they'll teach you what signs to look for. But when they spot a trade that they like, and they take the trade for themselves, they'll tell you precisely what that trade is. And if you copy what they do in your own trading account, so you can actually literally have a trading account on your phone, you can have an app open on your phone whilst you're watching them, and as they type the numbers in, you can type exactly the same numbers in. When they win, you get to win as well. The difference is you get to keep all the money that you make. That means you get to earn money whilst you're learning. Aside and show you exactly what it looks like. So I just stop sharing this for a second, and I share instead my web browser. So I'm going to go into here. So let's click in here. Okay, let's drag that out of my way because I can't see things. So this is IM Center. I'm already logged in. So if I scroll down here, there are a few things that you're going to see in here. First and foremost, we have our academies itself. If we log into the academy, that's where you get training. Now, that's not necessarily watching live sessions. This is watching recorded training. You can dip in and out of these, whatever you want. There are hundreds and hundreds of videos in here, and they are 3 to 5 minutes long. So there's nothing that's too heavy. You can just do a bit at a time when you want it to. We also have our strategies, which is the software that you're going to need to understand these markets. And as you join, you get access to all these strategies. And more importantly for us right now, we have Go Live. This is where the educators are on right now as we speak, and there are a number of people on as we speak. Once you get that, you click into Go Live and you get this screen here. The first thing that you're going to see is choose a language. I said we've got 168 different educators, and we teach in 13, 14 different languages, whether they be European languages, whether they be Japanese, Hindi, Somali, lots and lots of different choices. So scroll down and choose the channel that you want, or choose the subjects. So you can choose the forex channel, the HFX channel, the DCX channel. I'm going to go and choose a specific strategy. And I'm going to go to one that I like myself. This is one of my favorites, and this is DeLorean. And this is a forex trading strategy. So if I click in here, I can now scroll down and I can see the times of everyone's on. Now I know that there's no one on live at the moment, but what I can do is show you. If I click into Tyrone, so this is Tyrone Foster, who's our master educator for, or one of our master educators for HFX. Tyrone is, as well as being a forex educator, absolutely an entertainer. And I'm going to show you, this was this morning's session. So this one isn't live, but you can see what we saw this morning and you can get a flavor for it. So it comes in, and when it comes in and he's live, it'll just say play. Right now it's saying watch again. So I'm going to click in for a second. And because I was on this live, I do know that we've got about 10 minutes of music right at the beginning. So in fact, the 10 minutes of music, you heard some of it as you were on the beginning of this. So because Tyrone makes his own music. So I'm going to zip forward, and we're going to get, and you're going to see, here we go. Let's see some charts, and we can see exactly what he does with this. This is one of Tyrone's favorite expressions, and I thoroughly agree with him. He says we are paid to wait. This is about this is not about being rich. So we'll teach you the strategies, we'll teach you the steps that you need to take to actually make money. And eventually I'm going to find the right spot.
Nah, almost a half a bat on that one, but it's not good.
He's looking at the charts, he's seeing what's happening, and he's going to tell people exactly where we're going to go.
I just can't wait until the DeLorean is like fixed from like my session. It makes life so much easier.
I'm talking over the top of him. But you can see these charts going up and down, and he explains exactly what they move. He's going to explain what these lines mean, and he's going to tell you exactly when's the right time for you to get in and out of a trade, and when you can actually profit from it. In fact, as I was watching him this morning, I watched him. I took 3 different trades this morning. Each of the 3 trades won, so I'm in profit for the day. Happy days, thank you very much. I'm going to stop sharing that right now. So, as I stop sharing this, so that's a flavor of what it is and how it works. Now, before I go back to my slideshow, I'm going to do something that's a little bit different. I like to do these, and I've started to do these regularly on Wednesdays. But I find it helpful for people who are looking at this for the first time. So I'm going to introduce you to someone who's been with us for just a few months. In the space of a few short months, she's taken to this like a duck to water. She's putting a huge amount of time and effort into learning this, and it's starting to pay dividends. She's become a really good friend of mine right now. She's over in Sheffield. Her name's Daisy Cumberland. Daisy, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
So we can see you properly, Daisy.
Can
How's things going?
There we go.
How's things going with you?
Yeah, brilliant, thank you.
Fantastic. Okay, Daisy, what I want to do is just give people an idea about your background, what you do, things like that. Tell people, first of all, where you come from, what your background is, and we're going to talk about your experience with IM Academy. So just fill people in a little bit.
Yeah, so as you said, I'm from Sheffield. After leaving school, I just did 9-to-5 jobs, never really enjoyed it. Worked in a call centre, which was dreadful. I then went on to do something that I enjoyed. So I started working in gyms from the age of 20, which is 7 years ago, 27. And I've been doing that ever since. For the past 5 years, I've actually been self-employed. And then started doing this business just before lockdown, and it has been an actual savior. It's been brilliant.
Well, let's just go a couple of things first. So how long have you actually been with us in total?
I want to say 4 months, around
Okay.
4 months.
Okay. And I ask this question of everyone when I do these interviews. I know your answer, but have you ever traded before?
Yes, a little bit.
How did it go for you?
Not very well.
Okay.
So I started trying to learn it off my own back, sort of going through different websites and YouTube, you name it. And there was just so much information that I had no idea. I was just still clueless, pretty much. And then I started following signals where you pay and they send you signals, which is not very good when you don't know what you're doing. So I ended up sacking it all off. I was probably doing it for about 2 months before I sacked it all off.
Okay, right. Because I hear that a lot of time when people turn around and they say, like the idea of learning this, but I Am Academy, there's a cost attached to joining here, and I can get all this information for free on YouTube or whatever. You've done it. What's the experience of that?
It's just information overload. You're going to get so much information, some of it will conflict. You not know how to piece it together. It's like having a jigsaw that just different pieces that don't fit together. It's a waste. It is a waste of time. Well, I wasted time doing it anyway.
Okay, all right. So since you got started with I Am Academy, what's the difference been with I Am Academy?
God, so much. So structure for a start. Everything is laid out bit by bit, so you're not getting fed stuff that's a bit too advanced for you. It's all step by step. Obviously, you've got the live educators, which you don't have access to when you're looking on YouTube. You can't ask questions to somebody on YouTube. It's not live. So that was a massive help. And then the community of people that we've got, if you ever stuck with anything, there's always somebody in the group who's willing to help you out. So you're never at a loose end. You've always got someone you can ask.
Okay, all right. Now there's two sides to the business, and I'm going to touch on the second side of it shortly in a few minutes. But in addition to actually learning to trade, you can actually build this a bit as a business and share this with other people and actually make an additional income from that side of it as well. Now you've already started that. Had you ever tried to build a team of people for anything in the past?
Yeah, sort of. But when I was doing it in the past, I wasn't exactly passionate about what I was doing, and I find it a lot harder to do. Whereas with this, initially I didn't want to build a team. I just wanted the trading, but the team has sort of just happened because I can't stop talking about it.
Okay. The thing I know about your team is that you've got a team that absolutely loves you. You do a huge amount of work for your team, and they all appreciate it. They all recognize it, and they all appreciate it. But tell people what it means to you right now. What that means in terms of position that you've got to.
Well, at the minute, I'm a P600 in the business, and I've got a team of 13 wonderful, or maybe 14 now actually, wonderful people. And yeah, it's onwards and upwards really. I mean, I started this just for the trading, and now I'm looking at it thinking there's so much more to it than that.
So tell people
Really
what P600 means, because if someone's looking at this for the first time, that's just a letter and a number. What does it mean?
So P600 means that I get paid residually $600 a month from the company.
Okay, so $7,200 a year, and that's just for introducing some people as customers.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's money that you can then use to trade with and compound that.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, I love asking this question because whenever people go on calls like this, and there are lots of different calls like this for different companies around the world, and everyone makes it sound all wonderful and hunky-dory and everything else. So I love throwing this question. Has it all been plain sailing?
No.
Right?
No.
Okay, why not? What wasn't right? What wasn't the easiest?
So nothing's been horrific. I'm just putting that out there. I think you've got to understand that you're going to win some, you're going to lose some. When it comes to trading, not every day is a winner. And I think that people need to realise that it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's not winning the lottery, and that, you know, there's going to be setbacks, but you have got to learn to grow and learn and get better from it. So that is the non-plain sailing bit.
Okay. So what was the hardest lesson that you had to learn?
Try not to learn everything in one go. I found that it's so easy to get lost in every single strategy because everything is so amazing on the academy. You just want to learn it all at once. So I think that that's been my lesson, is to just learn one thing, stick to it, master it, and just be good at the one strategy and not try and do every single one of them.
Okay. And what's the biggest benefit that you've got out of it?
I'm learning a skill that is going to change my life. No one's ever going to take this knowledge away from me. And no matter what happens, like right now, I'm not working, being a PT, self-employed, gym shut. No one's ever going to take this knowledge away from me. So I'll always be able to use this.
Okay. Now, someone's been asking questions in the group. I've seen a few questions pop up whilst we've been talking. And one of the questions was, is this your full-time job? Is this all that you do?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Okay.
And
we know that for most of us right now, lockdown means that it pretty much is for most of us.
Yeah.
But eventually, you'll be going back to something else.
And before this lockdown, I was at work. So when I started this initially, I was working.
Yeah.
And when I say working, us PTs are in that gym for a long time, and the long days, and it could be 14-hour days. But I still went to Costa and did my 1 hour of learning. And if I can do it, anyone can do it.
Fantastic. Okay. Someone else said, is that 13 people that you've personally found?
I think 12 are personal, and I've got 14 now. 12 are personal, and 2 are not mine. They're from the other people in the group.
All right. Okay. So, what, excuse me, what would you say excites you the most for the future with this now?
I think it's just the potential of where this can go, both with the team side of things, because, you know, I love the coaching side of it, and that's really come out of me, especially during lockdown, because I've been able to work on it a lot more. So that's something that I really, really am excited about. And also learning how to trade and be a profitable trader off my own back. So both aspects are really exciting.
Okay. So on the subject of being a profitable trader, have you got a favorite strategy?
Yeah, I've whittled it down to one. So I really like an educator called Evan, and I am doing his strategy at the minute. I don't think it's got a name, it's just Evan's strategy.
Okay.
But I really like that one. And the other one that I have used, and I know that a lot of the team have used it, is Cash Trap as well.
Okay. So they're both on the High Frequency Academy?
Yeah, HFX.
Yeah. Okay, right. All right, last question, and then we're going to get on with the rest of the presentation. But the last question for you, where do you see yourself in 6 months' time with this? So
in 6 months, I would like to be P2000, pushing for 5,000. That'd be nice. I want to be the best possible coach that I can be as well. And I really want to help my team, and not just help my team build a team. I really want to be good enough to coach my team on the trading side as well, so that everyone is getting the best of both worlds from me. And I would love a 5-figure trading account. That would be wonderful.
Okay. Just to touch in, just to qualify again for people that don't know, yep. P5000, if you hit P5000, that's going to mean $5,000 a month coming in.
Yes, that's right.
Every single month. And that's in addition to any trading profit that you're going to make.
Yeah, that's right.
That's in addition to that 5-figure trading account.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Daisy, thanks for that. Incredibly helpful, and I'm sure a lot of people got something out of that, so appreciate that. Okay, guys, I'm going to go back to the rest of the presentation now. I hope that you found that useful. I really do believe that everyone was going to see a benefit, and I really wanted Tracy, wanted Daisy to share that. We've actually had, over the last couple of weeks, I've had a few other people do the same thing. And I'm thinking that it's going to be a good thing for us to do on a regular basis, to show you real people that are doing this, and not just give you the sorts of the glory headline stuff, but the real world view of this. So how do you get started then? Let's talk about that, shall we? So I mentioned before that there's a cost attached to it, just as we were talking about with Daisy. So to get started, costs you $235 US per month. We're an American-based company, so $235 a month. Which, sorry, $235 to get started. So that's about 180, 185 pounds at today's rates, and then a monthly subscription of $174.95. Once you've done that, you're going to get access to whichever academy you choose, whether that be the HFX Academy, the Forex Academy, the Digital Currency Academy, whichever one you choose, whichever one floats your boat, as it were. Now, you can, if you wish, choose to pay $100 more and get access to each and every one of them. That's what I do, and a number of the people on the call do exactly the same thing. That gives me the flexibility to pick whichever strategy I want, and it gives me access to all of those 168 traders whenever I want to do that. Whichever package you choose, all of our packages come with a 7-day money-back guarantee. So if you're looking at this for the first time tonight and you think you like it but you're not 100% certain, give it a try. You've nothing to lose. If you don't like it within the first 7 days, ask for your money back. We'll happily do that. We'll happily give you that back. Okay, so let's just talk about that monthly subscription, because that monthly subscription is something that's quite important as well. A lot of people say, it's okay, but I don't like the idea of 174 a month. Well, I understand that, but I've got to be honest with you. If 174 a month is an issue, you shouldn't really be thinking in terms of getting started with this. You should be making substantially more than that. However, Daisy told you that she's brought 12 people personally to the company just by talking about it. Daisy said she wasn't particularly interested in going out and building a team as such. She just couldn't stop talking about it. Well, if you just bring 2 people to the business, then bring 2 people to the business and we'll let you have your subscription free of charge. And in the real world, we find most people do exactly what Daisy does. When you start making money with this, you get excited about it, you start telling people about it. You then have an option, and you can do exactly what Daisy has done. You can become an independent business owner. If you bring 3 people to the business as an IBO, we'll start paying you. And every time you bring someone into the business, we'll pay you $25 for every person that you bring in, if they start on the Forex pack, the HFX pack, or the Digital Currency pack. If they start on the Elite pack, which, as I said, incorporates all of them, costs $100 more, we'll actually pay you $50 for every single person. But in addition to that, find 3 people and we'll pay you $150 every single month. Now, even if you were paying your subscription, $150 a month is almost your subscription paid. If you've got 12 people, Daisy has more than that. 12 people pays you $600 a month. That's $150 every single week. You get paid every single Friday with this business, so tomorrow's payday. By the time you've got 30 people in your team, then you're going to get paid $1,000 a month or $250 a week, and so it moves on. And it moves on to some of the positions that you heard Daisy talking about. By the time you've got 75 people in your team, we're going to pay you $500 every single week. And by the time you've got 225 people in your team, you're going to get paid $1,250 a week. And so it goes up. We've actually got people on this call who are actually earning in excess of $10,000 a month already with this. And we've got people in our business that are earning at every rank that you can see on this chart, and in fact beyond it. Top rank on here is Chairman 500. That pays $125,000 every single week. We actually have, in the last 2 weeks, we've got to change this, and we need to come up with a new chart for it, because in the last 2 weeks we've introduced a new rank of Chairman 750, because we've had 3 people that have pushed beyond that figure and are now earning in excess of $750,000 every single month with this business. Now, where you're going to go to is completely up to you. The question isn't really how much it's going to cost you. The question is, what can you become with it? What can you make out of it? Everyone has their own different thing that they want to get from it. So that's the presentation itself ended, folks. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen right now. So as far as that's concerned, if you like what you've seen, then get back to the person who invited you onto this call and ask them how you get started. You can get started very quickly and simply. We can have you started tonight, and you can literally be watching one of those live sessions tomorrow or Monday, making money straight away. Now, I said to you at the end of this call, we always have a training session. So I just need to change my screen a little bit. I'm going to take a look around and see if my guest speaker is on here, because we've now got a chunk of people on here. So I'm looking around. So I can see Simon. Simon, have you seen Joe coming on? Don't see any sign.
No.
No. Okay.
I haven't seen him. I've been staring through a few of them, but I can't see him.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. Typically, we normally have one of our upline sponsors from the USA, Joe Gomez, come on for us. But to be fair, gives us an opportunity we've been dying for, doesn't it, Simon? So, guys, I would like to introduce you to a very, very good friend of mine. I said to you a few minutes ago, we've got people on this call that are earning in excess of $10,000 a month already with this. So I'd like to introduce you to Simon Brooks, who's been one of my closest friends now for close on 30 years. He's the guy who brought me into this business. He's been the first person in our team to achieve the rank of chairman, which pays in excess of 10 grand a month. He's from Formby in Merseyside. Simon, tell people a little bit about yourself, first of all, before we carry on.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Simon Brooks. I've been around the industry of network marketing for just over 32 years. Now, some people say, oh, that's like a prison sentence. Well, it does feel a little bit like that, because I feel as though I've robbed the bank and I've got millions and millions and millions. So, yeah, but I'm being flippant. I mean, in that time period of being involved in the industry for 32 years, I've made over 14 million. Now, I don't say that to impress you, but to impress upon you of what you can achieve with this profession. Now, the benefit we have with our business is that the majority of people that join it can make as much money, if more, from the product than actually from building a team of people. That's an industry first. The company is one of the fastest growing companies in the world of network marketing. And that is a massive, massive benefit. And the other benefit is that you can sponsor anybody around the world as long as they have 3 ingredients. Number 1, they must breathe oxygen. Number 2, they must have red blood. Number 3 is they must have internet access. I'm joking, but obviously if they've got those items, then they can do this business. Now, a lot of people say to me, oh, but Simon, I need to train. I've got to learn about it. Well, if you want to, you can do. I tend to take the easier option, and I like to follow, and I like to be a copycat. And they always say being a copycat's great as long as you're copying the right cat. And as you heard Roger say before, we have employed 168 educators. 168 experts. So you're never, ever going to be sure of following somebody that knows what they're doing. And I tell you now, folks, this business works 100% of the time for 100% of the people that give it time. Roger, back to you.
Thanks, Simon. Okay, there was something that you were just saying then, and we don't elaborate on it enough, you know, but when we talk about 168 educators, we forget to mention that these guys, they're professionals. These guys know what they're doing. And these guys, almost to a man, are paid hundreds and thousands of dollars. And some of them are paid millions a year doing what they do. This isn't just a few guys in a call center that are just paid 20 grand a year for sort of sitting there and talking from a script. These are knowledgeable people, talented people. Yeah,
but the benefit is,
I don't think we tell enough people about that.
But the benefit is they only take on these educators if they're building a business.
Yeah.
So basically they're seeing it from us as well. Very, very clever. When you think The CEO and owner of the company is worth over $500 million. That's with a B, personally. And he's been in networking and he's been a trader for 20 years. So that's where this is all stemmed from. It's unparalleled, absolutely unparalleled.
So let's talk about the flip side of it. We talked about the trading side. I'm going to talk a little bit about the team building side, because in the real world, lots of people get invited to come to these kind of Zoom calls, etc., and they get told all the glory days about how easy it is to build a team. And again, in the real world, and just like we did with Daisy, and we said, tell us the real stuff about trading, we're going to tell you some of the real stuff now about building a team, because building a team, I don't think it's very difficult, but it's not as simple. Or let's rephrase it. It's simple, but it's not as easy as it necessarily appears, because an awful lot of it has one major flaw in the system. And the flaw is the person who's coming to it for the first time. That's the major weakness, because they come to the business and they know that they can talk to people and they can make a lot of money. It's just they don't know what to say and they don't like talking to people. And in the last 2 years, Simon and I have been working like crazy for 2 years, trying to come up with a solution that's going to make things easier for everybody. And it's not because we're wonderfully kind people. I think we are, but that's not the reason. We want to make it easy for ourselves as well. So we wanted to try and grab hold of automation and grab hold of the use and the power of the internet. And that's what we've done. And we've come up with a platform that we call Diva. Simon, tell people what Diva is. I want to hear your explanation of it.
Well, Diva is an automated lead generation system. As I've been involved for 32 years, and everybody loves to get involved, and you turn around and said, okay, make your list of all your friends and family, all your contacts, and let's approach those people. The trouble is, the majority of people don't really want to do that, because they tend to turn around and say, well, I'll wait and see if I get some results first. Well, now what we want to do is we want to jump over that hurdle and go straight to the fact of getting to speak to people that you don't know. And this is all done through advertising. Yeah, but advertising where? What, in the newspaper? Well, that's how I built my business over my 32-year career. I used to sit and place adverts just like Roger in like the Daily Mail or the Sunday Times or the Express or whatever. And we used to sit by the telephone waiting for the phone to ring, but these ads cost hundreds and hundreds of pounds. Now, we don't need to do that. We've now found a lead generation system that actually does all the donkey work and the heavy lifting for us. And even Roger today has actually put lists together, scripts on what to say, how to say it, and everything else. So you're going to have the best of both worlds. Every single person, when Roger was going through the presentation, said, okay, you can get your subscription for free if you sponsor 2 people only 2 people. I've sponsored like 83 people personally, but hey, that's just because I just like to recruit. But most people haven't, and most people don't. So this system will get you to find your 2 people in a heartbeat. We're hoping it's going to get people to get 12 people in a team to become P600, and then P2000, P1000, P5000, chairman, and everything else. It is going to be a wish list that you can wave a magic wand and you can turn and say, this is it. This is phenomenal. I now have got a system. Everybody loves to have a system. And to speak to people that's rejection free. Why is it rejection free? Because they're following a bot and they just click on questions and answers to see if they're going to qualify, if they want to know more information. I tell you now, guys, it's going to be a
quick
no-brainer.
technical overview.
Everybody that's seen, Yeah, no, I'm not going to get technical.
No, I said, shall
But
I do that?
Yeah, you do the technical bit. I'll do the exciting bit and the stuff that I know
Okay,
works.
I'll do the boring stuff then, guys. Okay, so here's the deal.
There you go.
This is what we put together. We coupled with a tech company. We knew what we wanted. We had the dream, we had the vision. We just didn't know how to do it. So we coupled with a tech company who had the know-how, and this is what they've come up with. The system is very simple. We place an ad on Facebook. People see a link, say an advert that they like on Facebook, and they want some more information. So they simply click a button that says more info. When they click the button that says more info, instead of
Can I stop you there, Rog?
Yep.
Rog, can I stop?
Yep.
Okay. You don't place the ad. We get the company to place an ad, and
Yep.
the person who gets place the ad is a guy who is an absolute monster. He is so phenomenal at placing ads on Facebook. He's a skilled individual.
We're back to the excitement. I was doing the tech bit. I was going to come back to that.
Okay. If you've ever heard of the Ninja Networker, this is the guy that does all the advertising, and he's so skillful at doing it. Back to you, Roger.
I'll let you do the exciting bit again in a second, okay? Thanks for that. Good. Right. So, doesn't have to be serious, guys. Run the business doesn't have to be serious. You've got to enjoy your life. Life's too short not to have fun. So here's the deal. So someone places an advert. An advert is placed on Facebook. When the ad is placed on Facebook, the ads are very cleverly put together adverts. They know precisely who the target audience is. They're targeting the people that we want to speak to. We're targeting people who want to know how to trade, and they want to know how to make money from home. So they click on a link that says they want more information. Now, rather than you have to explain all of this, you're brand new, you've just looked at this for the first time, you love it, you're excited about it, but can you explain it all fluently? Probably not. So instead of doing that, we harness technology. They click more information, and it goes into what's known as a chatbot. You deal with chatbots every single day these days. You go to websites and you want something, you want to speak to customer support or whatever, you go through a chatbot. A little robot goes through and asks you a series of questions, and it directs you to the right department or whatever it be. That's what we're going to do right now. The chatbot starts asking questions, and it asks people what they're looking to make. Are they looking to make an extra income? How much do you want to make? How much time have you got to commit to a business? Have you thought about investing in your business and putting some money in? Do you have the wherewithal? At any point in time, if the people think, I don't like this isn't for me, they drop out, and they're perfectly entitled to do so. And it's a good thing for us, because Simon said to you, this is a rejection-proof system. These people never say no to you because they actually leave before they get to talk to you, which means you don't have to worry about someone saying, oh, I don't like that. And that's the biggest problem that most people have in network marketing. So we take that away. We funnel people out until we get to a point where people have agreed with all the questions and said, yes, they're happy. And then the system says, would you like to speak to someone else? And they say, yes, they would. At that point in time, it goes to a live person. Now, for the last few days, Simon and I have been testing this live, and leads are coming through to us, not thick and fast, not a million at a time, but they're coming through on a steady basis, maybe every hour or 2 hours. We're just getting leads in our inboxes, and we're simply getting a message that says, Mary wants to know more about how she can make $2,000 on a monthly basis in the next 2 months, and she's prepared to work 15 hours a month or 15 hours a week. We've got a picture of what Mary is and what she wants before we do that. Now I can start talking to Mary and asking her some questions. So as we start asking Mary some questions about what she's done in the past, we can see if she's a fit. And basically, I'm going to ask 3 or 4 questions just to basically make friends. That's all I really want to do. And then ultimately invite her to watch a call just like this, just like the one that you saw at the beginning of the call, when I talk about how the business works, and then I interview someone like Daisy, and they get to see the bigger picture. If they like what they see, When they end the call, I always end, as I did before, by saying get back to the person who invited you onto this call, and they just get back to you and say, right, I'd like to know what to do next. Now, again, you're still relatively new to this business. What do you do then? Well, at that point, you contact your upline. That's the person who brought you into the business. And if the person who brought you into the business is relatively new, then speak to the person who brought them into the business, and keep going up and up and up until you find someone who can hold a conversation with them on your behalf. And get 3 of you talking to them. So someone else does the presentation until you feel comfortable and fluent enough doing it yourself. Just watch what they do. Watch it 2 times, 3 times, 10 times, whatever it takes for you. We actually had a call on Monday talking with Brandon Boyd, one of our leaders in the States. And he told us about a guy who has achieved the same rank as Simon. He's now known as Chairman 10. He earns more than $10,000 a month, and he hasn't spoken to a single person by himself yet. He lets someone else do the explaining for him. That should give you a clue, guys. Don't try doing this yourself. Not in the early stages. Let someone else do the talking. That's it. The system in a nutshell is completely and utterly automated. When it comes to placing the ads, as Simon said, we actually have placing advertising can be expensive. Simon told you that when he and I used to advertise 25, 30 years ago, we spent hundreds of pounds a week on advertising. And advertising is still expensive. So rather than have you place ads for hundreds of pounds, what we said we'd do is we'll get a bunch of us to get together and we'll share the cost. We'll split the cost between 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 of us, whatever's in the group, whatever's in the cooperative. And everyone can take as many slots as they want. You can take, I'll have 1 slot, I'll have 50 slots. So you could say, I've got £50 to spend on advertising this month, I'll take my share of that. Or you could say, I've got £250, whatever you feel comfortable with. What we do know is, we know the cost of the advertising, we know what it's going to whittle out at, and we know that if you spent £50 on advertising in the real world, that's probably going to equate to about a dozen qualified leads coming through to you. People who say, yes, I want to make some extra money. Now, here's the thing. I just got some numbers in front of me. If you spent £50 on advertising and that brought you 12 people, and let's say that 3 of those people fell out right at the beginning, they couldn't be bothered answering the questions of the bot, they disappeared. By the time you get to the end of it, 9 people actually want to have a conversation with you just on Messenger before you can actually invite them to go onto the Zoom. Now, let's say a couple of people don't like waiting for you or whatever it is, and they disappear as well. So let's say you actually only get 6 people to come onto a call like this. By the time the call's ended, let's say that only 4 of them want to get on a call with your uplines, whether that be Simon, myself, Ed, whoever it may be. By the time those 4 people have got on the phone call, 3 out of those 4, in all likelihood, are going to join us. I said to you before, you'll get paid $25 for every person who joins. So that's $75 that you get paid as a fast start bonus. Plus you get paid another $150 as a royalty subscription. That's $225. It's only cost you £50 for the advert. This is self-funding lead generation. What it means is this. We have a system that can produce leads for you whilst you're asleep. I woke up this morning to people that were waiting for me to talk to them. Simon woke up to people who were waiting for people to talk to them. We start off our work with a plan for what we're going to do in the morning. In the space of the next week to 10 days, a huge number of the people that I can actually see in front of me actually have this system planned, and will have access to this system in the next week to 10 days. And when they have access to this, they'll all start building a second source of income. This is all over and above anything that you make from trading. In fact, this is giving you the money that you need to trade with. So if you're saying to us, I like the idea of getting started with this, but I don't have any money to invest, well, don't worry about it. Just share it with a number of people, use our platform, let us help you share it, and we'll find the money for you. We'll let you hit these ranks that Daisy's hits. We'll let you hit Platinum 150. We'll let you hit Platinum 600. We'll pay you $7,200 a year that you can invest and turn it into whatever you like. We've turned this into the simplest, most exciting prospecting system I've ever come across in not 30 but 40 years in sales and on all kinds of different things that I've done. 40 years in sales, I've never found anything as simple as this. And Sam and I are having conversations on a daily basis at crazy times of day and nights because honestly, we're so excited about where this is going. So right now, the choice is yours. If you haven't already got Diva, I believe we're down to our last 3 slots for what we're calling beta testers. If you miss out on one of those 3 slots,
George,
yeah,
John phoned me and said 4, one more. There's one
4.
person that didn't follow through.
4 slots. Okay. So we're down to the last 4 slots. If you miss out on those 4 slots, after that, you're probably going to wait another month to get access to it afterwards. And I promise you guys, there will be people that will be absolutely, no, I'm not going to say it. They will be doing very, very well in the space of that first month with that. So if you haven't got it yet, get hold of it because it's going to make your life substantially easier.
Guys, if you want to know how to get the link, speak to your sponsor, speak to your upline, get them to reach out to either me or Roger to get the link for us to forward you the link on WhatsApp.
Okay, anything else that we need to touch on?
No.
It seems quiet this week, doesn't it?
No.
This weekend.
No, everybody's just waiting with bated breath for when the curtain goes back and they can just go there.
Yeah. Oh, we've already got that, haven't we? Yeah. So yeah. We are working hard with this, guys. We've been tweaking this today, and we have been, as we've been tweaking this today, we've been making it better and better and better. We had a conversation with John, the secchi guy that's sorting it all out this afternoon. Honestly, we're going to have something awesome. And we actually found out today that there is someone else who has a very similar platform to ours within IM who got pushed back behind the slot because we leapfrogged forward, largely because Simon's well connected in more ways than one, because apart from being top ranked with everything else, he's connected to his son, who actually got us further up the ladder. So we used everything we could to get us to the front of the queue with this, and other people have been moved back for it. That's it. Anything else you need to add before we go?
No, I'm good. I'm good. I just wish you, I tell you now, I will. A lot of you folk are educating yourself massively on how to trade. And I'm so impressed with the results you're getting with what you're doing and everything else. And I tell you, the amount of wins that you're getting, I tell you, you guys are superstars, absolute superstars. Just keep it up, because we've got a little group that we actually put trades in and do different stuff and everything else. And that's going really, really well. Now, I don't know if any of you was on Millie's session this evening, but again, she crushed it. Absolutely crushed it. This is one of our educators, guys, if you do not know who Millie is. And she's amazing. She just knows how to win, really knows how to win. In actual fact, I'd go as far as to say she is my favorite educator out of all of them. I don't get up at 4 o'clock or 3:30 or whatever for Matthew, which I suppose I should have done really, but I've never really had a paper round or milk round. So that time in the morning is a little bit difficult, but anyway, we still are looking at flying him over, and it's looking more like going to be November now. So it's going to be when it's safe to do. So make sure that we're going to be in a hotel for a week in November, where we're going to be in front of Matty Pips, and he's going to be calling the trades, doing the trades and everything else. That's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. There's going to be some people. Imagine having a flip chart in the room, and when he calls a trade and the trade's finished, we put the amount on how much people made on the flip chart. Could you imagine how much that's going to be worth. And we keep it all the days he's there. That's going to be some big numbers. I mean, Matty, he trades at like $25,000 a time. Now, we don't do that. You know, that's like crazy, silly money. But then he did take a $500 account in 21 months to 1.3 million. You know. And do you know the sad thing is for people in America, because Brandon's really into doing the HFX, it's not tax-free for them. Binary options in America, they've got to pay tax because it's their income. UK, that's not the case. That's not the case. Now, if you want to know the answer to that, give me a call personally and I will explain the reasons why. But anyway, that's me done.
Okay, I'm going to answer one quick question.
I'm good.
A question here from Charlie. Charlie wanted to know, can we go through the difference between FRX, HFX, and DCX briefly? It's going to be real brief, Charlie, but here's the quick headline. FRX is trading forex. We trade currency pairs and we choose whichever currency pairs, and we look based on time frames. We look at charts that are based on 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 4 hour, 1 day. Some of these trades will take 3/4 an hour for them to mature. Some of them will take 3 days for them to mature, depending on the risk and depending on the way it's being assessed. And it depends on the educator that's chosen those particular trades. HFX is much different. HFX is very fast paced. HFX stands for high frequency forex. These trades mature in 1, 2, 3, the very longest 5 minutes. We get a lot of trades in a concentrated space of time. The profit that's made from these is generally smaller than it can be on forex, but there's a lot more of them. And ultimately what we're really looking to do is we're looking to make not huge amounts. We don't have to be greedy with this. We're looking to make somewhere between 5 and 8% a day. And once you hit your 8%, that's it. That's great. I did 11% today, so good day for me. So that's those two. The DCX Academy trades much like the Forex Academy, except DCX is trading cryptocurrencies. So you're trading Bitcoin, you're trading Ethereum, Ripple, and any one of probably 20 other major cryptocurrencies. Again, we have major educators who know these markets back to front. And they'll tell you which direction coins are moving in. Bitcoin at the moment, somewhere around $10,000, and it's been up and down for the space of the last 12 months. It's been between 7,000 and 12,000, and 10 grand where it is right now seems to be the average. A lot of people are predicting that it's going to go to $100,000 at some point in time, but I've been hearing that prediction for a number of years now. So personally, I'll stick to trading Forex because I know that in the time that you're waiting for Bitcoin to hit that, we could have made substantially more with Forex. But those are the academies. You make your choices. One of the things that I love about I'm Academy is that there is something for everyone in here. With 168 different educators, with, I actually haven't counted the number of strategies, but just off the top of my head from thinking about the charts, I guess there must be somewhere between 15 and 20 different strategies to choose from. There is something for everyone. Find what suits you and just run with it, and there will be someone to help you every single step of the way. We do these calls every single week. When it comes to Monday, we actually have a training call on Monday with Brandon Boyd, one of our sponsors from the USA. Brandon has been with this company for 4 years. He now makes more than $100,000 a month just from sharing the business with other people, and makes more than that per week from actually trading Forex. So makes a substantial amount of money, and he's by no means...
In actual fact, can I just mention something?
Yeah.
It's his 40th birthday today.
Yeah.
If any of you have got him on Facebook or got him on Boyd's Pips or whatever, or wherever, just wish him a happy birthday. It would be nice from the UK if you all just wish him a happy birthday. 40 is quite a milestone. So
Yeah, I didn't mention.
I
how old he
remember
made
that
me
time
feel.
well.
Yeah, I didn't mention how old he made me
Yeah.
feel at the time when I said happy birthday. So
Well, my daughter is older than he is.
yeah, I'm going to go back to start
amazing.
calling you old again if we do that. So we won't go down there.
No, yeah. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on real fast.
All right, guys. So on Monday, we're going to have a training session with Brandon. He is a master at what he does. He's a fabulous communicator. Come and join us on Monday. Next Wednesday and Thursday, we'll be doing calls like this, not possibly as long as this on Wednesday, but we'll be doing calls so you can bring your prospects along and let other people have a look at this business and see whether they can see what we see. And if they can't see what we see, Simon always tells them he knows the number of a good psychiatrist. So guys, that's it from us. We'll see you all next weekend. Have a fabulous weekend. Enjoy yourselves.
Catch you later, guys.
See you soon. Bye, everybody.